just Paul Brown Stadium. Just like you said, I'm a hard 5-1-3 Bengal fan, but you about to trample all over me, sacks and all that. Nah, sprinkle me in the ocean.
All right. Big, you had some deep sea fishing. You catch a big marlin. Toss you out there, something like
bury
that.
me a butt. I'm serious.
All right, well, there we go. We got two non-sports venue answers, so.
Quarterback is literally the most important position.
I understand
But
that.
he's not sold on Russ, and so why aren't you sold on Russ? Tell me that. Last 2 years?
Is it because of
Man.
Pete Carroll?
I mean, it
He's
hasn't been.
He got us
slumping.
thinking DK really that dude.
Russ has not looked like
I
himself
think he
for the last 3
relied
seasons.
more on that Legion of Boom defense, and then he's going to do the
That's
same
early
thing here
on,
in
of
Denver.
course.
What has he done with what Tyler Lockett? Like, I mean, what has he really done
People
to
know who Tyler
solidify
Lockett
himself?
is because of us.
I'm not sold on, man. I mean, y'all want to go high on
He
Russ?
made the playoffs his first 8 years in a row. He won, 10 games a season every year for the first 6, 7 seasons or something, like things that
He's a
nobody's
winner,
ever
man.
done. Alrighty, fam. Welcome in to another edition of That's Debatable. My name is Ryan Dietrich. Here with the guys. Oh, I'm going to have to back that out a little bit. Sorry. What's up, fellas? How we doing?
What up, gang?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
It's a victorious Tuesday. A victorious Tuesday.
A victorious Tuesday. That's right. You guys are coming off, a dub. You're coming off a dub. You got the purple going on. You got it done. But like
You know the vibes.
Excuse me. Sorry about this. As you can see, we got some changes. The big man, AD, is working his butt off like you do. He's at Bishop Hartley. Got a volleyball broadcast going on tonight. So, back like we used to do. Me behind the desk, boys. At center stage, as we do. So, once again, I'm Ryan Dietrich, Jeremiah Bays, Will Ward in the house. NFL just got done with week 4, but more importantly, we're going to keep it here in Columbus. The Ohio State Buckeyes, man, rolling over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, 49-10. Mayan Williams, big day. Tied the record for rushing touchdowns in a game by a Buckeye with 589 yards. Ohio, I got Ohio State at minus 39 for those of you that like to sports bet. Buckeyes opened at minus 40.5. It dropped a little bit by game time. I took them at minus 39. They won by 39, so I didn't win any money, but I didn't lose any money, so we call that a win. Boys, did you watch the game? What do you think? Thoughts? Tell me about it.
Go ahead, take the wheel.
Hey,
Take the wheel, Will.
my man Mayan, he had not 1, not 2, not 3, not even 4, but 5 of them things, man. And I was hoping that Coach Day will go ahead and let him press on and go for the record. It was Rutgers. I think he was going into the fourth quarter, but it was nothing to rub his face in. No need to get overexcited. Just go ahead and sit down. You already got a $189. Already had a good game. So it's very promising for those boys down at the shoe. It's looking real good. The Silver Bullets was looking good on that defense. It's just exciting to see what they have coming in store as they continue to keep rolling. But I love what I've seen out of Mayan Williams. You know, Travion Henderson is going to get healthy. That's another thing I'm excited about. You know, you're not even seeing the full team yet, and you know you don't have Smith and Jigba that's been there, so you're seeing Fleming starting to step up, and it's a lot of things that's going on. CJ didn't have the best of games, but that's where a strong run game stepped in and
Didn't need him to.
prevailed. So
Definitely didn't need CJ to actually be CJ this game. 13 for 22, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. I mean, maybe not have that pick in there, but that's all we can ask for from our star quarterback. When it's a game like this, just let Mayan eat, and that's what he did. 189, like you said, and 5 tutties. Can't ask for more, man. Our receivers, they made the plays when needed to, and you know Fleming and Harrison's just gonna find a way to get into the end zone. That's probably a touchdown in every game he's been in since the Rose Bowl. Oh, no, he was in the Rose Bowl, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So since the Rose Bowl, well, I mean, I like it. I'm like I was telling you, Mayan Williams is definitely my new favorite running back in the nation. He's going crazy right now, and that's even over the pros. I'm taking him over Dalvin Cook right now at this point. But I really like what he's doing, and when Travion come back, it's gonna be crazy. I'm thinking some Reggie Bush, Lindell White type of 1-2 punch, Felix Jones, and Darren McFadden type 1-2 punch in that backfield, along with an actual star quarterback. So it's not nobody. We just gotta hope he make the right play now. Our quarterback's elite. They just gotta keep rolling. And while that team up north is breathing down our back, let's keep our foot on the gas pedal.
You got that right, my man. Excuse me. My next question was going to be about Jim Knowles and that 10th ranked defense in the country.
While we still here, number 1 offense and ranked in the country as far as points per game. You know, we got 48.8 points per game, and hey, it's number 1 in the country. So let's not overlook that. But as you were with the defense.
That's what wins ships.
Yeah, 10th ranked defense. I believe Jim Knowles said, what were we last year, 60-something? I mean, it was awfully low or even
59.
lower, and he said we want a top 50 defense, I think. You know, Notre Dame is obviously the toughest sledge on there.
Right.
It's only going to get worse. We got to go, you know, the first road trip this weekend into Lansing. Nothing too much to be worried about with Sparty.
Yeah,
But there's like any given Saturday, there's always something to be worried about.
it's that Penn State game that I'll be worried about.
Yep.
In the here and near future, it wouldn't be that Sparty game. I don't know what's going on with Sparty, but they leaving their knives and swords at home.
Yep. Minnesota got rolled. They fell out of the top 10 at top 25 as well. But Jim Knowles, like he said, all that chirping all off season long. We're going to get that defense right. We're going to get them right. The boys are going to take the next step. It's a young crew. And, man, they're coming into fine fashion, stifling that Rutgers offense. Had a touchdown, and after that it was game on, 49-3, I believe. Rolled them out. You were talking about our high-flying offense, the best in the nation. C.J. Stroud currently your Heisman favorite.
Oh, yeah, it's his to lose.
And stock is only going to rise with CJ. We see how injuries are starting to play a role. You see Bryce Young went down in Alabama, so it can only bode well for CJ as he continues to progress in this season. So I think he's going to continue to elevate. Don't know how long Bryce is going to be out yet, but we're going to keep rolling and doing what we got to do. So
I was going to say, I got it right here. The Spartans give up 411 yards a game. The Buckeyes average just under 539. So looking for them to pile it on. And for you sports bettors out there still, Ohio State's a 26-point favorite.
They definitely cover.
And the over-under is 64. I got it here again. Buckeyes averaging 48.8 points. Spartans averaging 27.4. The Buckeye defense only allows about 15. So, yeah, Buckeyes looking to keep Spartans under about 25 points. Buckeyes trying to throw up that 50 burger again. We'll see what we can do.
I want to see how good Fleming comes out, Ibuka comes out. Those guys should be able to come out and eat up that secondary of Michigan State and really get back on track. Like we said, CJ didn't have one of the best games, but I think that's going to be a little bit more of the focal point as Mayan just came out and had an electric game. I think that play action, they're going to be focused on the run a little bit. So I think that play action, that RPO is going to work a lot in our favor this week. But don't sleep on Sparty. First road game for Ohio State. Michigan State's looking to prove that they're not just falling off of the wagon early. So it should be a pretty interesting game, but for sure, still going to get the dub.
You got it, man.
Definitely going to keep rolling.
I'm going to peek at... Give me... All right, there's your top 10. Let me clear that bottom line. Boom. All right, there's your Fox College Football top 10. Top 25, excuse me, goodness gracious. Most of you out here don't give a shit. But 19 and 20, take a peek. Kansas Jayhawks, top 25 since first time since Tyler Reesing took them to the Orange Bowl. Todd Reesing, excuse me. That's blasphemy right there. Kansas Jayhawks being ranked above my Kansas State Wildcats. It's going to be dirty when they get it on together. The Sunflower Bowl, Sunflower Showdown. I'm excited for that
How y'all feel about Alabama being number one in the country?
That's what I was gonna. Here, let me put it up. Bam.
I really feel like they should be.
Let me rephrase that. Should Ohio State be number one?
I mean, off of who looks the best this season, yeah. If we give him credibility off of a little bit of last season and how teams still look good, I think Georgia, until they lose, should be the number one team. But Bama should be 3 or even behind that team up north at 4. I don't know why they look. I don't even think they look that good.
I don't think Michigan looks that.
I mean, that's fine, but I just think Bama's too high as well.
What would you? Let me put that back up.
Ohio State should at least be 2, and I think Georgia should be 1, if we're not 1. But I'm not pushing for us to be 1 just because Georgia hasn't lost. They might have struggled a little bit, but they was on the road, night game. Stuff happens. As long as you get the dub and come out of there with victory, that's all that matters.
You're saying dubs only matter. Alabama pushing it to the limit against Texas, a lackluster Texas.
And then they only went by like 21 points.
Georgia, they won by 1, wasn't it? 2019.
Oh, you talking a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, Texas.
And how about
last
Georgia
drive.
and Missouri? They were down to Missouri the entire first half. Has Ohio State trailed?
They trailed against Notre Dame in the first game, and that was it.
Well, because then they come out and scored the first touchdown. Ain't that what
That was, yeah.
So-
Pretty much. It's
I mean,
true.
yeah, off of this season alone, we look literally the best. But that's fine. Keep us where we at. I feel like this is going to keep us hungry. I just don't think Bama should be in the number 1 spot.
Fair enough.
It's big bad Bama. Until somebody knock them off,
Big
and
bad
they
Bama.
continue to fight.
Bama's not the defending champs. They're not the kings of anything right now. It's literally until somebody Georgia knocked Bama off. That's why Georgia should still be top dog. I mean, I know they struggled with Missouri, but like I said, they came out of there victorious. And I think that's the only game they struggled this season. Bama struggled a few times. And I don't even think their last victory was all that. But of course, Bryce Young did go down.
Right.
We'll see, man. We just got to keep rolling.
Still real early.
All right.
And I think USC should be above Clemson, too.
Bring back up.
They should be above Michigan.
You think USC should be above Clemson?
Yeah, I really
Man,
like it. I
USC
really like the
doesn't look
Trojans.
that good either.
I mean, from what I've been watching, I've seen, what is it, week 5, week 6? Yeah, so I've just seen about 3 to 4 day games this year. I mean, they look good from what I've noticed. I still haven't seen them against I'm waiting for them to play Oregon, and they got Utah. So when they play them teams, we'll really see if they can hold their own.
I gotcha.
But as of now, I think they, Riddler and them, Lincoln Riley make them look good, making them look good.
I still think, but yeah, Buckeyes look like the clear number one to me. As we like to say,
Just keep us hungry, man.
They don't play with their food.
Nope.
But I like that, man. Keep them hungry. Throw some shade their way.
Yeah, just
give them some motivation.
Bad taste in our mouth from last year, and
Yep.
it's looking like we're ready to prove we're out there to prove that. And just they gonna keep disrespecting us with them sec teams. That's fine.
All right. The other one I saw over the weekend, Kentucky. Kentucky losing to Ole Miss in a tight one, 22-19. But it was a good day all around the world of college football. So we're going to go into a little bit of high school. We'll keep it here in the city with my guy Jeremiah. I'm going to swap out that lower third. I'm working on it as Jared takes us around the city of high school football.
All right, last Thursday, we had Afrocentric beat West. Now, Max Preps, they've been giving me some wrong information these past few weeks. So this information is from Max Preps. Don't get mad at me if this information is wrong. Like I said, Briggs beat Marion Franklin a couple weeks ago. Marion Franklin actually stomped him. So I don't know what's going on with Max Preps. I don't know if it's somebody just typing in the wrong information or whatever the case may be. But that's where I get all my high school information from. Clearly, I might need to change that. But for now, Max Preps, if it's wrong, blame them. Afrocentric over West, 56-16. Marion Franklin over Walnut Ridge, 18-0. Independence over South, 30-14. Eastmore falls to Briggs, 28-34. Hey man, get the class, young man. I don't know what y'all doing. I mean, just make y'all obviously ain't focusing the way y'all supposed to. Maybe they're not locked down the way they used to be back when I was in school. But I know Coach Miranda had us in the front row. Now he ain't playing no games. Maybe these younger kids just don't care. And they need some new blood in there. I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm not calling for your job or anything, Coach. But we need the Warriors to bounce back because this season was rough. All right, but Thursday, October 6th, those was last week games. We do got Briggs at I High, Walnut Ridge at West, South at East, at Eastmore, and South looks good. Eastmore, you need to get it together, man. Like I said, Friday, October 7th, we have Afrocentric and Marion Franklin at Marion Franklin, 7 p.m. next Friday, and that's my City League South update. No. Eastmore Warriors, please get it together.
The other big news I
What's going down in Hartley?
Hartley went up to Cleveland and lost by 1 point. It's kind of rough over there right now. They 2-5, but they come back this week against St. Charles. It's going to be at St. Charles. St. Charles come in at 3-4. Like I said, Hartley's 2-5. So they have to come back. Keep on playing, boys. Season not over. Got a few more games left to go out strong on the senior season for the seniors. Like our guy Anthony Murphy that tuned in or stopped by for an interview with us a few weeks ago. Still a lot of football to be played, so keep on going on. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks indeed. All right. I believe, will you be on the sideline next week?
It's a strong possibility. Still got to work some things out. See what happens.
See what we do.
Yep. But it's got to get everything worked out. My people will talk with their people, and we'll go from there.
I dig
Continue
it.
to keep tuning in to Yamo. It's a strong possibility you may see me on the sideline.
Strong.
In the chat, they say OSU, Georgia, Michigan, Bama. What you think?
I do not buy Michigan, man. They gave up 14 points to, wait, hang on.
The last 2 weeks, they stink.
Hang on, let me get this. They
Since-
gave up 14 points to Iowa. That's like giving up 50 points to anybody else. Iowa scored twice. Twice. Iowa's offense is dog feces and no good.
Yeah.
So 17-14, low scoring. They gotta. I mean, I get Iowa's got a good defense, but come on. You've handled UConn pretty well, but we'll see. We'll see what happens as they work their way through conference
Sooner
play.
or later,
I ain't
you're gonna have to. You gotta face somebody, man.
Yup.
That goes for everybody. It's a lot of teams that's still looking for their first real big test. I think we played, Wisconsin. Was it last week?
Yeah, the blackout.
And that was a fair opponent. That
we
wasn't a
started
low
out-
ball opponent.
We started out with Notre Dame.
We got Paul Chris fired.
Right?
Bought out.
Wisconsin dropped another one,
I
but
thought he bought him out.
well, all right, they didn't fire him.
Well, that's what they told the media.
They chose to buy out his contract and
That's
relieve
fire.
him of his duties.
Yeah.
Give him $11 million.
Yeah,
Dude, that's the way to do it, man.
What, getting bought out?
Being bad at your job and getting paid $11 million to leave.
yeah.
That's the common consensus here lately. Like, your guy at Nebraska happened. Who was it? Herm Edwards over in Arizona State.
Yep.
And you getting asked to leave, but I still got a lot of money on my contract. So, I mean, that says a lot. If you're willing to pay me that much money and tell me don't come back to work, you either really unsatisfied with my production or you're just ready to go in a different direction, like right now.
We will never
All
be
right.
nervous about anything Michigan until the clock strikes 0 and we lose in the shoe.
We'll see them fools
But
around
Going
Thanksgiving time.
to November, but I think the top 4 should be O State, Georgia, USC, Bama.
Looking too far into it,
You
man.
just like flashy USC. I
Yeah.
saw.
Maybe he's still the kid in me, and I still got a thing for
That
USC,
Reggie,
but they
huh?
look good.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
This ain't Reggie USC.
yeah.
I saw a.
I know, but it's Lincoln Riley, and he's a good coach.
He's a good coach. I saw a poll from. It was UK and Ireland college football media, and they had the Buckeyes ranked number 1. So, hey, across the pond, we got some fans. And with that, we'll put that bed to rest. And as these boys leave the college levels and ranks, they move up to the pros. We just got done last night with my guys. Got it right here. My
Yes,
guys
sir.
getting it done.
Everybody's team got a dub this weekend.
Jimmy G,
Yep.
Debo, Jeff Wilson.
Bro, that play was.
that defense
Oh yeah. I mean, your defense is the truth. I like
Looking
Fred Warner.
looking nasty.
Shout out to my Jared heads. Fred Warner's a
Yeah,
beast.
Talanoa Hufanga in his second year. The next Troy Polamalu, basically. He's been flying all over, making a name for himself, so I'm excited. My Niners got it done.
Call him the next Troy Polamalu.
He's his mentor. He's been training with him out
Yeah,
in
he
Cal.
came in off a blitz last night. I don't know if you know what the play I'm talking about, but the running back ended up going the other direction. He came through so fast on the blitz, but he was on the left-hand side. The running back went to the right-hand side, but he was clean, timed that blitz so perfect.
He's fun to watch.
I think that's one of the best things when you see a well-timed blitz. It's not often you see, one of those Jadeveon Clowney's big tackles, but the perfect time blitz. And I don't think we have ever seen anything like Troy Polamalu jumping over the top of the.
And landing on the quarterback.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm ready to see one of those type.
I was gonna say the safety from Seattle, Earl Thomas, I think used to do that a time or two. And yeah, what's up, Shard? I see you in the comments, bro.
Shard's on there. I thought he'd have been quiet today. What up,
Nah.
Shard?
He had to chime in.
Yeah, hey, that's
Speaking of it, let's get to it. The Rams got some problems.
big problems.
Cooper Kupp is, the offense. Other receivers had 2 targets.
Yep, I just dropped Allen Robinson off my fantasy team.
And yeah, I mean, you're a week or 2 late to the party, man.
I know.
He's been struggling. I don't know if it's that offensive line. It just, 9 points last night. Rams in trouble. What do y'all got?
Been trying to tell y'all that for the last 3 weeks, man. The Rams they shouldn't have won the Super Bowl, first of all. And their offense was predicated around what their defense can set them up with. So I just believe that Matthew Stafford is still the one that was trying to depend on Megatron. And he just got a couple good plays and good things happening with the Triple Crown person named Cooper Kupp. And now it's finally starting to catch up with him. Now teams are finally knowing, who to stop, and they're exploiting their weaknesses. So I don't know if it's going to turn around. That defense can only hold so long. But if we seen what happened with how Debo and Jimmy G cut him up last night, I don't think it's going to change for the Rams anytime soon. But hey, that's my take on those guys. No hating on them. You know, they got the Super Bowl, they won.
But
But
they're defending champs, so they got that out the way.
yeah, it ain't happening again, man. It's a downhill slide, Rashard. So get your tissue ready. It's gonna be a long rest of the season for you, my boy.
All right, question for all three of us.
Yep, I seen it. About the Eagles.
Which week do Eagles take their first L?
I thought it was week 2, but I guess they had other plans.
All right.
This week against the Cards.
So this week, Philadelphia flies into Arizona. Arizona's a 5.5-point favorite.
They are?
Or excuse me, Philadelphia's a 5.5-point favorite.
I can't forgive Kyler, bro. That play, I can't think. Who throws a pick?
All right, here, I'll read them off real quick, and then here's the next few.
Cards, Cowboys, Texans, Commanders, Colts, Packers, Giants.
All right,
I say they run the table. Who beats them? Colts, maybe. If anybody, the
Hey,
Colts.
how you say, man? Heavens no. We talking about Philly? Is Philly going to lose to the Colts?
Maybe.
These next 2 games are the best chances of them losing. And definitely the Cowboys, man. I'm telling you, dog, that defensive pressure that they're bringing, it's not about that offense. Everybody keep looking at what's going on with Rush and what's going on with
Micah Parsons is that dude.
Jerry the
Yeah,
Mouth,
but
distracted with Jerry garbage.
Jerry can't even take a selfie with the fans, man, because he don't know how to use the phone. I don't know if you guys seen that one, but Jerry is still Jerry. He's still using flip phones almost. The fan asked him to use the camera to take a selfie.
He has people use phones for him.
Right, exactly what he did. But I think that defense is going to carry the Cowboys longer than that offense is going to struggle. And we finally seen Tony Pollard show up and have over 100 yards rushing. But I think Philly showed their hand a little bit.
Zeke wrong.
Huh? I didn't say Zeke wrong. I think Philly really showed their hand this past week.
Jacksonville's tough.
Yeah, Jacksonville is tough.
That's why I picked them for the upset.
But I don't think Jacksonville is as talented as as the Eagles showed their hand. You know, they jumped out to an early lead, 14-zip, and I think if some teams can see what happens and how they got to that lead, the Cards, I think they can possibly pull it off, and if not now, definitely next week against the Cowboys.
Well,
but real quick, I think remember how the Cards kept going, the Cardinals kept going last year, and you kept saying, why you keep putting them at number 1? I think that's the Eagles this year. It's only going to be for so long that the Cardinals or the Eagles are going to be able to fly.
There's something about a bird, huh?
It's something about them they're going to start off hot, and then eventually I think they're going to trail off. I don't think they're going to ride this wave for a long time, but hey, we'll see.
I disagree with that because their quarterback is built way different than the quarterback of the Cardinals, to where the intangibles will carry that team. That's what Jalen Hurts. So it's always gonna be a play to be made with Jalen Hurts. It's always gonna be something there to where he could set up, whether if it's A.J. Brown, my guy, the Heisman winner himself, Devonte Smith, or with Miles Sanders finally had a huge game.
Right.
So it's always going to be something on the offensive end, and their defense is really legit. They got a A1 secondary, they got a nice front, and they got a linebacker core. So it's something at all 3 phases, and Jake Elliott is a good kicker. So like they got something on all 3 phases. I always felt like the Cardinals. That's why you got stuff like with Kyler and study time. There ain't nothing like that with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts actually put in the time this offseason to be a top flight quarterback. And we're really seeing the results versus Kyler just really doing something spectacular, which is that's why he's still able to run around back and forth, and it still look like he's not, in the film room enough, but he's just talented enough. And we had a couple years ago where the Steelers went 11-0, and that was kind of fraudulent. Also, I don't like the intangibles of Ben Roethlisberger, so I think that was going to fall apart eventually too. And this isn't just the Eagles playing a weak opponents. I mean, regardless of what, I still think that week 2 matchup was something serious, and they came out on top. It could have went differently if you go back and watch film, whatever the case may be.
For sure.
But the Eagles, I think they are a real contender versus a pretender. And the NFC is still wide open. We don't know who could come out, and the Eagles is built in a way to where they could come out of the NFC this year.
So what do you think?
I think with this looking, they could run it from the Cards, Cowboys, Texans, Commanders, Colts, Packers, Giants. I don't see them losing. I don't believe in the Cardinals. I think they're gonna beat Arizona.
Answer the question.
I just said they're gonna run the table. If it's anybody who could possibly beat them, it's the Colts.
How, Sway?
How, Sway?
They going
You
17
did not just listen to my whole soliloquy?
I did, but you talking about the Colts, dog? Out of every team, you talking about the Colts.
Okay, what team on this list could upset them?
Any of them. Cardinals, Cowboys,
No.
Steelers.
No.
Ain't the Steelers either.
You know what?
Here you
This
go.
is Kenny Pickett.
Philly will lose within the next
You know
3
what?
weeks.
I'll give you that one.
Where they play the Steelers at? The Steelers ain't coming up.
Yeah, they are.
Where?
30th of October.
Why didn't he write the Steelers down?
They go at Arizona,
You
Dallas
picking the
at
Steelers
home,
who's
Pittsburgh.
going?
They can lose any of those
They in
3
shambles
games.
right now too.
Nah, I think they finally got it right.
What, by putting Kenny Pickett in?
Here's the deal, boys. There's so much parity in the NFL.
Right.
Minnesota, what's Minnesota? 3-1?
Yeah.
They could be 1-3. The Raiders could be 3-1.
I disagree with
There's
that,
a field
but
goal.
you
There's
could
a
also-
play. Any of these teams could flip very easily. The parity in the NFL is ripe. There's more one-score games in the month of September than in any other September in NFL history. The league is as tight as it's ever been. You just saw, two back-to-back 60-yarders almost did them in. There's all sorts of crazy plays going on. Last second, Jets get Breece Hall across the goal line. Philly's down 14-0 to the Jags at the beginning of the first quarter. They put 2 quarters like that together. They're down 24. They can't come back. There's a lot of parity in the NFL.
Bills down
Anything can
20-3.
happen on a Sunday. So I'm saying within the next 3 weeks, Philly will lose. I'll say they lose to Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett is gonna do it.
I'm with you there, but I didn't see the Steelers in the list that he just because I'm not looking at their schedule. I'm looking at what my man Jordan just
in
posted.
there.
Yeah,
That's my take on it. Who asked that? Jordan.
yeah.
If they go into Cowboys, if they go into Dallas,
No,
that's
I
what
don't
I'm trying to figure out right now. If they're playing in Dallas,
It's at home.
It's at home. Dallas is coming to Philly
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, maybe it ain't gonna be that game then.
I got it right here. They go at Arizona, 2 at home.
The
at
Steelers or the
Houston.
Colts?
But they got Texans, Commanders, Colts, pretty soft in there.
I need some of your money on
It
against that
favors
Colts
them.
game, man.
I'm not saying that they're
It's
going to lose.
nice.
I think they're going to run the table. I think they're going to stay undefeated. Off of these names, they're very capable. The
All right,
way they win, and they play to a week-in, week-out basis.
All right,
So,
I'm taking names. Rico Freeman, Cam Morris, all y'all. I'm going to rub this in your face. And the Pittsburgh Steelers likely won't beat the Eagles.
Kenny
but
ain't doing.
I'm throwing
Man,
it
we
out
might
there.
do Kenny freaking Pickett
I'm making
alone.
the pick right now.
This dude's so high on Kenny, man.
Oh, Kenny Pickett, the guy who changed the game forever. Am I quoting myself?
You
That's
look
what it
pretty
sounds
good.
like.
He look.
Kenny
This is what I've been saying.
Kenny
This
look
is what
pretty
I've been
good.
telling this guy for the last since he's been making these accusations about Kenny Pickett. He's been asking for Kenny for so long, and I said, "You're gonna throw Kenny into the fire? Who's his first fire victim this week? Who's he playing? Nah, he played against a half last week, and that was against a weak team.
Who they got?
You know what I mean? Go ahead and look. Take a look who they got. The Bills Mafia is
Oh,
who
yeah,
Kenny
they
gonna
gonna
get to
lose.
see this week.
Yeah.
So now you
what?
gonna throw him? Von Miller gonna have fun with him.
So
How somebody
what?
just
It's
said
the
in the
NFL, dog. Time to put your drawers on.
Yeah, all right.
It's time
Put
to put your
gasoline on them
drawers on,
draws
lace your
now.
shoes up.
Put gasoline on them draws because he going into that fire this week. Bills Mafia Von Miller is going to see Kenny Pickett so quick in that first 2-3 minutes. It's going to be heat for that man. And I just want you to be like, man, hey, bring back in Mitch,
Why?
please.
Dude, no way.
Why?
All right.
They're gonna
All right.
if
All
they're
right.
gonna lose with the rookie. Lose
Okay.
with the kid.
Kenny Fire versus Kenny Can't. Or versus Kenny INT.
Man, I just see
Instead of having,
The
at least
ro-
he's not mitching around, bro.
this is not going to be preseason, man, that you've seen in the preseason. This is going to be full-fledged
Mitch look-
number one
Mitch
team.
look bad in
He's going to
the
see
preseason.
ghosts, man. He's going to be seeing ghosts. He's not going to be Kenny Pickett.
Dude,
bro.
the Bills
is it,
are
Sam Darnold?
the Bills are not invincible. They are not unbeatable. They are not.
They're not. I'm
They're
not
solid.
saying that. But the Steelers, and you still put respect on their name, the Steelers, it's not where they used to be, man. That defense ain't won
They just need
since
You're right.
your boy TJ went down. Like, anytime TJ's out, the Steelers don't win.
Yeah, so
Their
they definitely need him back.
Their offense is not clicking like the old Jerome Bettis, Willie
Because of
Parker.
the offense can't click with Mitch.
We're going to see, man.
That's the problem. The quarterback doesn't
Are
run
they going
a
to win
great
against
show.
the Bills?
No. But they possibly can.
Do you know why they can? It's Mike Tomlin.
Thank you.
That's why. And that's the end of the discussion. Mike Tomlin can beat anybody any given day. Mike T's the shit.
And then if Kenny have a bad game, Mike Tomlin gonna take every single arrow for that young man.
Yep.
And then they gonna bounce
you
back
gonna
to
take
next
him
week
in?
and go back
Hey,
to the drawing
I'm just
board.
on that Kenny train because I've stashed him on my fantasy bench 2 weeks ago in a super flex league, and it's thin pickings. I'm a
Hey,
genius and started
Remember
Gino.
who driving the Kenny train though? We could go back to the footage from last
Yeah,
year.
you driving that
We
train.
could go back to the
that
footage.
train going to derail. You going to
It's
still.
not.
It was
It's gonna
me.
be a steady shit.
There's no train.
Watch, and when the Steelers have a better record than your Bengals, then what?
Child, please. It ain't
Because
worried
we already
about
know the
that.
Ravens
Hey,
is
next
winning
subject,
that
man.
division.
There ain't no train. You're just standing there waving that Kenny flag as the Steelers train goes by. That's what's going on.
Nah, bro.
Bon voyage.
It's like a
I am pro Kenny Pickett. I'm on quote. That's my exact quote. I am pro Kenny Pickett.
Pro-choice,
the kid who changed
pro-science,
the game
pro-Kenny Pickett.
forever. He took the fake slide and he did the shit bang. I'm really quoting the clip.
Yeah.
All right.
Try to fake slide now, man.
Oh, no.
Somebody going to take that 15-yard.
No,
Hey.
don't do that now. But
He's
Kenny
gonna lose
freaking
his
picked it.
head.
All right,
There's a
me.
good segue into sliding.
That was mine.
Oh, it ain't. Oh, it is.
All
How
right,
did I
that's a
get it?
good segue into sliding. Watching Kenny Pickett runs a lot. There's a good chance of him getting banged up and hurt.
Man, Kenny getting smashed.
So-
I don't. Just continue to watch, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, it's not like
Watch
I mean,
it.
maybe so.
All
But
right, hey,
your
boys.
quarterback got thrown in the fire and he tore his ACL.
We're moving on from
It's stuff
Kenny
happens.
Pickett.
Knock on wood.
We're gonna hope Kenny Pickett doesn't get hurt running the ball like he does, which brings us to God dang it. There we go.
Mike Tomlin. Come on, Cam. Great coach.
Oh, brings us to injuries. There we go. Tua was the big scene of the weekend, obviously. That was gross. Started
Bruh.
off on Thursday. Willie's Bengals got a big win. 26?
That's a dub. That wasn't no
26-12.
reflection of Tua's fingers or nothing like that.
26,
But 27-15.
27-15.
You didn't even say that.
Miami's
Who
coming
even
off
thought about that?
Miami's coming off a short week, 3 days, had to travel into Cincy. Tua took a big shot Sunday, looked like he was concussed, said it was back. He passed concussion protocol. He got back in there. He was banged up. They're on a short turnaround. That's a tall order for any team. And then Tua took a big nasty shot. The optics of it looked horrible.
Terrible.
Everything, all the reviews, all the statements from McDaniel, everything following that has been positive. He wore a neck brace on the flight home. He was sounding like himself. They said all the right things that you're supposed to. He is out week 5, but it looked pretty gruesome. And then you kept adding a few others. The Giants, Daniel Jones go down, backup goes down. Cordero Patterson's out. Devonte Williams goes on to IR. That's the name of the game in the NFL. It's a battle of attrition.
Scene, a rookie from Minnesota. He went
Yeah,
down.
there you go. That's another one.
I just seen a gruesome picture of what happened to him. His ankle. That was nasty.
That was nasty.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
But the thing with Tua, bro, I seen people trolling. Like I know you just had your little joke or whatever, but it wasn't you wasn't joking about Tua. But bro, I done had a concussion, and I didn't even see him get up and fall against the Bills. But yeah, that's exactly what I did. It happened to me. I tried to get up, take my first step. I stumbled and fell, and next thing you know, I'm getting carried into the school, throwing up blood and all types of stuff. Like it was. Like I had to retrain myself how to walk. Like I really could. Like I'm trying to tell my body to walk, and I can't do it. Like concussions, when it's that serious, it ain't nothing to play with. Like we did see the little West Side fingers and that's terrible, bro.
I've seen a lot of hits. You know what I mean? And like you said, you've been
seen
around the
no shit
game,
like that.
and usually, you see a guy, he may go stiff and his arms go up. That's usually how I know a guy is getting knocked out, when his arms go straight. His legs may go limp. I've never seen the hand things like Tua did.
West Side
and
fingers.
it's like, at a certain point, that wasn't really a vicious, egregious hit that he took.
It was
That's how you know.
the way he
but
landed.
That's how you know he was still hurt from the last time. You know what I
that
mean?
part
And
too.
it's like, how is that going to affect him moving forward? And it's you have to really think about, the long-term effects about this. You see how Antonio Brown and he's the leader of the CTE club right now. You know, he's throwing out shots at Giselle. I don't know what's going on with AB, but his mind clearly, you know, use your mind, guys. it's not all the way there sometimes. So you think about the long-term effects, and is it really worth going out there? And you're already risking your body, but at a certain point, it's like, nah, I ain't feeling it today, guys. Let me just go ahead and sit down because it can get worse.
That's what my dude Kawhi would have did. Kawhi would have been like, nope. I'm not. He would have got out. He would have got up, stumbled, and walked to the bench. That's what Kawhi would have did. But, you know, I know that's a different sport, but that's how serious he take his body. Not because he like soft or anything. Sometimes you gotta be smart. You go out there and play hurt. You can look like Baker last year and end up in Carolina this year. That's really what happened. Never know.
Dude, yeah, rough scene, just period. We hope we can hang in there. Man. The other notes from, you know, you got to survive that injury battle. Let me get myself back in here real quick. My other notes, Chargers got it back together. Broncos country is in trouble. Going down to Vegas. Vegas gets their first win.
Rough ride.
London saw a good game. They're going to get another decent one next week. And Chiefs, Kansas City, man. Patrick Mahomes looked like he was mad. Dude, the crazy.
The Kareem hook shot, the pass.
This it's schoolyard, man. They're just playing in the fucking backyard out there. It looks, you know, they're playing loose and free, and that's why they're good. So there it is around the NFL in week 4. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Short minute and 15 seconds. We'll be back with Ballers of the Week. All the other good stuff. Sit tight, fam. Throw some comments at us. We'll see what we can get on. We'll be back right here on That's Debatable.
Hey, it's Coach Howard, and I'm excited to tell you the good news about what's coming your way for this high school basketball season. Every Sunday at 6 p.m., you can catch the Coach Howard Basketball Show live on Yamo Media. We will take a close look at all the previous week's high school action, the big upcoming games, and not only that, but we'll be taking a look at the top teams and players throughout Central Ohio. I'll have special guests throughout the season, including high school coaches, players, and college coaches from all over the country. I'll also be giving out rankings of the teams and the players every 2 weeks. It's going to be a very in-depth show, and I can't wait to get started. Once again, you'll be able to watch the show live on the Yamo Media Columbus YouTube channel and Yamo Media's Facebook page. You'll also see clips posted throughout the week on all of the Yamo Media social platforms. You can also catch the audio podcast on Mondays wherever you find your podcasts. Our first episode will air Sunday, November the 20th. I'm looking forward to this upcoming high school basketball season here in Columbus, Ohio.
Hello, I am Annie J. Ross Womack, the Executive Director of the Ohio Sickle Cell and Health Association, and I'm here to talk to the parents and student athletes about a very important topic. The NCAA has instituted different standards for all divisions of student athletes. Before you can play sports in any college or university, you must present a negative trait status or hemoglobin status documentation. Your hemoglobin status is taken at birth with the newborn screening. And what they do is they run your blood for any abnormality or any birth defect. There are thousands of newborn screening birth defects in this country. For more information about sickle cell disease, sickle cell trait testing, you can call our offices at 614-228-0157. Or you can visit us via web at ohiosicklecell.org.
All right, boys, welcome back in. Real quick before I get into week 5, give me a quick one-off. What team made a statement in week 4?
What team made a statement? Let's see here. Go ahead, Jared, fire away, man. I mean, a statement, it depends what kind of statement you're looking for, because I look at that Seattle and Detroit game. they put up points, and that shows you that I keep saying Detroit, they're coming up and they're moving ahead in the right direction. They did lose to Seattle.
They gave up 48.
They gave up 48. They scored 42.
They scored 45.
They scored 45.
But they gave up 48. So if anything, to quote the
That's
man,
a statement.
To quote the man on the winning team, that the statement he made was, "They wrote me off, and I didn't write back." So for them, the three teams that didn't write back this weekend would be Tennessee, because a lot of people writing off Tennessee, and they said, "Hold on now, we back at 500, slow your roll." And then we also got, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is saying, "Yeah, no, I'm still him, and I'm gonna show y'all I'm still him." And then we also got the man himself, Gino Smith. He's still saying his own statement. He didn't write back, and he's still not writing back because he's performing, and he's the top leader in what, the pass percentage, or is it QBR?
Completion percentage.
Completion percentage. So yeah, them is the three statements for me. Which I don't know if that answers your question, but
it's always going to be a homer for me. And it's going to say a homer, but a lot of people kept talking about how often my man Joe B was getting sacked. For the last 2 weeks, it's only been 3 sacks that the offensive line has allowed. That's a statement, man. So to see those guys moving forward, nothing more that I can ask for out of that offensive line right now. They're finally moving in the right direction also. So, but like you said, I think Kansas City, that they're making a statement, but they gave up 31 too. That's that high-power offense. Really, they're right in the back of that high-power offense. And at some point, that defense is going to have to step up if that offense can't keep shooting. But
I still haven't seen nobody slow down Patty Mack yet. I mean, I think it was a hiccup and they won lost.
that's that defense.
But I think they do just enough to get to the
That's
get to the
defense
quarterback.
of the Buccaneers. You know what I mean? I just don't see how often or how long those broken plays can keep working, man. I love it, and I love how he gets through it and, just barely pass, close to going past the line of scrimmage and getting loose and escaping the pressure. But it's only so long that I think that stuff can work, man.
All right. I get it. Who would have thought, man? Geno Smith being a sneaky play. All right, I'm unmuted. Dun, dun, dun.
Rico Freeman said he thinks the Chiefs made a statement for real because the Bucs defense to him has been winning the games so far this season. So Mahomes is to go in and just shred them. You got the Chiefs, but I don't know. I think kind of their defense. They played a Saints team. I'm trying to think who all they
played the
Bucs
Cowboys
went up against.
They only gave up 9 points versus the
Who have
Cowboys.
the Chiefs played?
They played
Not
the
the Bucs.
Bucs defense, but the Cowboys, Saints.
Opened with they beat the Cowboys 19-3. They beat the Saints 20-10. They lost to Green Bay 14-12, and they lost to the Chiefs 41-31. They won their first 2. They've lost 2 straight.
Yeah, they only gave up 14 points to the Packers.
I also saw a headline that Tom and Giselle hired a divorce lawyer.
Ooh-wee.
And if you
She's really heated about
if
him
you
coming out of
remember,
retirement.
I called that shit in our group chat. I said
You
that
did.
like a month ago.
I thought you was trolling, but I didn't know. I mean, but nah, you right though. She's really heated about him coming back out of retirement. Like, I think that means he really only retired 1, maybe 2, get to Miami, but just to please her.
It's all
So how
speculation.
big of a distraction is that going to be? You know what I mean?
I mean, he the GOAT, bro. So he's
That
still
goal don't
handling
got
it.
nothing to do with your heart, bro.
His head's still in the game.
Child, please.
It apparently ain't.
They just had one of their best offensive outings since. I mean, I know they lost, but they just had their best offensive outing of the season.
Maybe him and Gronk gonna get together and really hang out. Gronk, I don't think he gonna hang with AB, but
Nah, AB don't
Oh,
ruin
man.
that. Nah, I wonder what was AB doing when Tom went home.
All right.
You know, he lived at the
Okay.
crib.
All right, moving on. Statement
Sorry,
wins.
no, I'm just
There we
playing
go.
GOAT.
Let's get to NFL Week 5 storylines, matchups. The Thursday night game.
Denver hosts Indianapolis Colts.
Gross.
I thought we gotta do balls
Yeah,
first.
man.
All right,
that
moving.
is gross.
Next. Denver's a 3.5
That's right.
point favorite.
Taking Denver in that one, but that's an ugly
The
one.
one big storyline, New York Giants going over to London without a quarterback against Green Bay.
Without a quarterback?
Or maybe it's, Daniel Jones is hurt and their backup is hurt too. So
They got Saquon. They running that Wildcat all day.
Today they tried out A.J. McCarron and somebody else that don't matter. If you're in the chat and you remember seeing that, I don't remember who it was. But anyway, so that, I mean, just a tall order there. The Giants have got a tall order there. The Chargers coming into Cleveland. We haven't talked about our Brownies yet. Or, I guess it's our because we're in Ohio. But, shit, Herbert is one tough dude.
Yeah.
Big, strong kid. Just put him out there, put some pads on, and let him throw that fucking thing. He's slinging it. He's leading the league in passing yards. And he's done that with, like, broken ribs, busted shoulder. He's beat up, and it's only...
And down his #1 receiver.
Only week 5. And he's down
a
his
receiver. He's down an offensive lineman out for the season.
So,
and
big ups to Justin Herbert. But, again, coming into Cleveland, I think Myles Garrett will be back facing that tough defense. But if he's in fine shape, look out, Cleveland.
Yeah, that's one that I left unmarked on our list.
Okay.
I don't know who to pick on that one because I want to say Nick Chubb can come alive at home, but also that defense can, stand tall at some point for the Chargers. So that one was kind of a toss-up game. We'll see how the Browns figure out how to lose this game, though.
Yep. Right. Let's see. Chicago at Minnesota.
So what? Minnesota gonna be 4-1, and they still gonna talk about Kirk
man.
Cousins stinks, right? That's what we're gonna say. They're gonna be 4-1, and then we gonna still be second in the NFC, and they.
Yeah, and if they lose and go to 3-2, then it's gonna be on, because the Bears ain't good. 4 field goals. The Bears put up 4 field goals against the Giants.
We're definitely gonna beat the
Struggle in the one I just saw.
and they come to us. They're not beating us in Minnesota.
And yeah, for everybody who had Baker's back while he was here in Cleveland, how's that working out? He looks terrible. The Panthers look bad, man.
I mean, the Panthers.
Baker's
suck.
doing his same shit. He's just making bad decisions, bad throws. He reads defenses too late.
You know what he
He
should have
just ain't
did?
got it.
He should have went to the Buccaneers and sat on the bench behind
Francisco.
the GOAT.
San Francisco's a 7.5-point favorite. Get on that. Thanks, Andy. San Francisco 6.5-point favorite going into Carolina. I like that from the sights of my defense last night. Carolina is bad. Other headlines. Hey, Dallas at LA. Rams have got some problems. Cooper Rush is 3-0 so far.
Go in there, he beat the Rams. He keeps starting
I
job.
believe Dak's seeing the doctor this week.
Yeah.
Is maybe the headline I saw. Las Vegas at Kansas City Monday night. Your Sunday night matchup, Willie.
Yay,
We got a preview. Baltimore Ravens come into town,
Nope,
Cincinnati
goes to Baltimore.
goes to Baltimore.
Night game, probably going to see those black unis for Mr. Jackson and his crew. It's going to be how you stop Lamar, obviously. Lamar is their whole entire offense. He finally got J.K. Dobbins back. So the same way Cincinnati had to figure out how to stop Waddle and the Cheetah, which they really didn't stop the Cheetah too much.
No.
He still had a big game. But this time it's going to be more focus on how to stop Lamar. And we've seen him before. We see him 2 times a year, so it's nothing new. But he seems a lot more poised in that pocket this year. That's the one thing that's different. So,
If the damn coach quit shooting his own team in the foot.
yeah, they just seem like they can't close out a game. They had the Bills up
It's hardball, man.
in the first half and then just come out second half and just can't close. So, of course, I'm giving a nod to Cincinnati. They seem like they're rolling on a good streak right now. Like I said, as far as them holding that line of protecting Joe a little bit more, and if that can continue going, I think they have a really good chance of keep moving forward. But I think that one thing Cincinnati has to do well this game, I haven't seen really a lot of Joe Mixon for him to get over like 75 yards. He's been getting the 60s, but to get closer to 100 yards, don't really need him to do too much because you got that passing game. You need to get Jamar a little bit more involved, but T. Higgins had a big game this past game.
Sophomore slump.
Hey, man. I don't think so. I think just, the defense is more predicated around him right now. They're really focused in on make sure you got one safety high on top of him and the corner pressing him a little bit more.
You know what JJ did in year 2? He had an even better season. But, go ahead.
But yeah, I just think that they got to keep on doing what they did in these past 2 games, and this would be even bigger test to show where Cincinnati is. So make sure you tune in. NBC, 8:20 p.m. Cincinnati takes on and Will Ward on the sideline.
There you go.
Should be a good Monday night game, too. Kansas City and Vegas. Vegas looked like they finally got it together, and Devonte Adams finally had a decent game since week 1.
Yeah, I initially thought, man, you crazy. Good game. Raiders are bad. But divisional, like I was saying earlier, parity in the NFL. Anybody can show up.
I think it's going to be some.
Kansas City,
I could see a high-scoring ball game.
Two not great defenses. So.
And Josh Jacobs showed up last week, so that's really good for him. Hunter Renfrow is going to show up.
Yep.
I think Kansas City has to show up and do what they do, but that's what I'm saying. I really can't put all my eggs in their basket just yet. No. I know the AFC runs through Kansas City.
No, it don't. Y'all the AFC kings.
Yeah, man, but do you let somebody else tell it that Kansas City runs AFC still?
That's why they can't. I mean, that's just I say the
Look at the last
Bills,
5 years. Let's take an average of the last 5 years.
But 5 years, you think New England was still kind of raining stuff too?
If you doing in the last 5.
Even last year, it's either Kansas City or Cincinnati
Yeah, but they didn't come out.
I think it's a hole. I think it's a hole in Kansas City. It's easy to see it, but it's hard to stop it. And that offense the same way that Baltimore runs through Lamar Jackson. That team runs literally on the back of Patty Mack,
Dude's got skills.
It's not easy to stop him because once you think you got him cornered, he pulls a rabbit out the hat and just escapes it. But you got a smart linebacker. Something just didn't seem right about Tampa Bay's defense this past game. They looked out of sorts.
That's because Patty Mack did that. But that's why. I don't think everybody gonna carve him up.
They've taken a loss though so far this season.
They do.
I mean, that was against the Bills, right? That's their only loss.
No, the Bucks lost to the Green Bay.
No,
Are you talking about the Chiefs?
Chiefs.
Yeah, that's their only loss to the. No, their loss was to the Colts.
Yeah.
They didn't play the
Oh,
Bills.
yeah.
They play the Bills in a couple weeks.
You're right.
All right. Well, that is
Right.
nicely done. It's
Week 5.
I'm very surprised.
Just watch out for the Kenny Pickett upset.
I'm very surprised. We're speaking of Patrick Mahomes doing shit that we haven't seen before. It looks like he's down at Emerson Elementary School in the play yard, like where we started. You know what I mean?
Backyard
And it's pretty
football.
amazing that none of us picked him as our baller of the week.
I really, really thought about it, but his stats weren't to the baller that I selected. I just feel like it wasn't the baller that I selected balled a little bit better.
Gotcha. All right.
It was the homer pick. That's what it was. That's the one.
Take it away. Who was the baller of the week?
13 games, nah.
Well, I'll start off since my guy right here alluded to the homer pick. My pick was none other than one of the Cincinnati Bengals, my guy Von Bell. And I didn't pick Von just because I like the white helmet and the white unis, and they look good. But I picked baby Von because I needed, if you watched the show last week, I said I needed for Von and Jesse Bates to really step up and lock down that secondary. And as you can see from the pick right there by the great art of my guy Jared Bates, he put his clamps at the right time. He had an interception in the first half, and he had a crucial key game-sealing interception to win the game for Cincinnati. So I think big players make big plays at big times, and Von made one of the biggest plays to close out the game, and that's why he was the baller for, week 5 for me, or week 4 for me.
Excellent, my dude. All right. Dun, dun, dun.
Shout out to Guy Von Bell, man. Keep on balling. Keep on being the leader of that defense. We got a long way to go to get back to Arizona this year. But we going to make it, man, for sure. They may not believe in you nowhere else, but of course Will does. So
I'm weak. He did catch a pick against Tua and Teddy. I guess I didn't think of it like that. That'll make it sweeter, but it's just the facts. Okay, my baller would be from the Raiders. That man, Josh Jacobs. He ran all over the goddamn Denver Broncos. So the definition of let's ride, yeah, he rode. And they rode him all the way to victory. Pause. 28 carries, 144 yards, 5.1 average, 2 touchdowns by that man. As you see, that's 2 Broncos who failed to saddle up that horse. So yeah, that's my baller of the week this week, Josh Jacobs, man. Like the Raiders finally got it together. They finally got in the win column, and then we even had another Devonte Adams sighting for the first time since week 1, and this time it came in victory. So shout out to the Raiders. I'm gonna send this picture to my goddad because he a big time Raiders fan. I know that he gonna like it.
All right, thank you, sir. Josh Jacobs, Von Bell, ain't got shit on this guy.
Gino.
Yeah,
The postman.
This
running
is,
all through
this
Detroit.
Is also just bananas that Gino Smith is the baller of the week, October 4th of 2022. He has been nothing but a backup, holding it down, but apparently he does his homework because he got it done. 23 for 30, 320, 2 TDs, 1 rushing touchdown, the highest QBR of the week.
Oh, yeah,
and like Jer mentioned earlier, Gino Smith leads the NFL in completion percentage. So Gino Smith was my guy, and like I said earlier, Superflex League, I was able to pull Gino, throw him on my bench, or not throw him on my bench, throw him in that flex spot, got me a nice 32, keeping me at 4-0, baby.
So it's a league where you could put a quarterback in the flex spot.
Yep, it's called a Superflex.
Man, man, I need to get with the people who run my stuff. Like, bro,
It's
why?
okay.
Because I would prefer 2 quarterbacks too.
Kind of. There's good and bad. But at this point, it's basically just, battle for, because a QB can put up 20, 25 pretty, a lot easier than a wide receiver running back. So there's it's just QB heavy. So that's the focus. And, Jalen Hurts, I got him and Pickett on the bench. So anyway, there's the ballers of the week. Von Bell, Josh Jacobs, and that dude, let's bring it back.
Shout out Justin Jefferson.
Shabam.
Honorable mention.
Gino. JJ had a big game. Saquon had a big game.
Miles Sanders had a big game too. I
go.
thought about Miles Sanders.
Excellent.
Somebody from Philly should be
Gino.
represented it. I felt like last week somebody should have picked Jalen Hurts.
Yep. Okay. Ballers of the week.
I'm
we
sure
got
they're
it done.
going to keep winning. They're going to get it in there.
Will, are you ready?
Yay.
Gino versus Golf.
Dun, dun. That makes me think of like the D-Generation X theme song. Are you ready?
You know what? Let's get this list over with because I'm already ready to dissect this thing.
Hey.
Got a little prequel.
All
I
right,
ain't like
just a sec. Let me get your
Real
graphic
Wars
and I'll
top 10.
change your
Top 10. Top 10.
headline.
Top 10. Top 10. Top
Number-
10. Top 10.
There you go.
Number 10.
Number 10.
Coming in at number 10, unfortunately. Oh.
Yeah.
It's still Miami Dolphins.
Hit 'em with
Miami Dolphins, man.
Wow.
You see right there on the bottom of left hand of the screen. I want everybody to pay attention to that part of the screen right there all the way through this thing. So last week they was at number 3. This week they're at number 10. And I preempted last week, if they fail, they probably was going to fall a little hard. And it's not, they didn't fall as hard as my man Tua. But they did fall because they don't have their number 1 quarterback, and it may get a little bumpy, it may get a little rough for them coming up. They do have the Jets. They're going to go to New York and play the Jets, but I think Teddy Two Gloves, Raheem Mostert, they can, continue to keep that wave of the Miami hot streak going, definitely with this week being against the Jets, but can't take the Jets lightly.
All right.
So, like I said, Tyreek did tear it up this past week, 10 receptions, 160 yards, but
My
you
bad.
see I got the guys right there, Ryan's guys. They were not ranked last week, but after winning convincingly and only allowing 3 field goals, no touchdowns against the Rams. I have to slide them in there. They didn't have to be ranked last week, but they look real good. Debo had 115 yards. My dude, you know, your linebacker, Dre Greenlaw, he looked really good with 15 tackles.
He that dude.
Leading that defense, and that is really going to be the defense winning championships. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it during this list, but defense is going to carry a lot of these teams. If you can put your offense in a good spot, you know, allow your offense to stay off of the field and get back on the field at the right time, that's how you win championships. So, at number 8, I got the other guy on this show's team coming in at number 8. Last week they was at number 9. This week they barely squeaked in just because of a missed field goal from the Saints that was going to take them into overtime. But they had a huge game out of the homie JJ. Had 10 for 147.
And a rushing TD.
And even more, my man Dalvin Cook finally looked like he could be, you know, one of those top 10 running backs in the league. Top 10, man. Hey, you got to continue to show it, dog. It's a week-to-week progression thing. 1 week you're not feeling well, you banged up. Injuries is going to move people forward and backwards, and it's going to move you backwards a lot faster than it can move you forward if you're injured. So, at number 7, I got the other guy on this show, the 2023 Super Bowl champs. Jesus. You know, we only allowed, like I said, 1 sack this week. 2 sacks last week, 1 sack this week. And moving forward, they just getting a lot better. So 20 for 31 from the guy Joe B, 287, 2 touchdowns. He connected with T. Higgins 7 times for $124. Like I said, my man Von Bell had 2 interceptions, 1 being the game-sealing interception. Keep this train rolling. At number 6, I got the Dallas Cowboys coming in at 6. And right now, they're 3-0 under Cooper Rush. Tony Pollard finally showed up and had 105 yards. And they held Saquon, that defense held Saquon to under 100 yards. He still got 1 touchdown, but that defense is really, really strong. You know, even with Micah Parsons not having a big game, only had 1 tackle this past game, but the rest of his defense stepped up. So taking on the Rams this week after they're coming off of a loss against the 49ers, I think they're catching the Rams at a good time, and I think that train may keep on rolling. So you're really going to know something. If they can knock off the Rams, you're going to see Dak really kind of sitting on the sideline with a clipboard possibly. But keep on rolling. At number 5, I got the team that Cincinnati is going to be taking on this week coming up, and that's the Ravens. It's kind of hard, and they're going to continue to sit at that 5 spot because they were there last week, they're this week, but they're not moving up or down because they lost, but at the same time, they're losing in the second half, which means they just can't close. They played a tough team this week in the Bills, and they played a tough team last week, and just, you know, things just aren't going right. But they were up 20-10 at halftime, came back out. They're getting a lot of production out of a lot of people's MVP front runner in Lamar Jackson. He had 11 rushes for 73, 20 for 29. So he's hitting a lot of receivers. He doesn't even have a key receiver for real, but he's still making things happen. Unfortunately, again, they probably going to go down this week, and this time I think I'm going to have to bounce him a little bit lower than 5. So moving on, got the Packers at 4.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And I only put them here because
crazy.
The rest of the list, it was hard to start to move. Once you get here, it was hard to try to just insert teams.
Who's that team that they lost to?
Who did they lose to? Minnesota. And they're definitely not
What's
this
the record
far
of the
down.
team that they lost to?
Let the man finish.
All right.
2-1. And I understand how we say that, but at the same time, it's what you see the guy that tells them to relax. You know what I mean? He had 251 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then the other thing that we had said a couple weeks ago, they got those 2 running backs, and Aaron Jones had 110, A.J. Dillon had 73, and he hooked up with Lazard, had 116. So that offense seemed like it just could get rolling, but the one thing I hated about them, and that's made it hard for them to go there, they took forever to complete the game against New England, against a third-string quarterback, you know? So on one hand, your offense is looking okay. The other hand, you shouldn't have played with your food, as we say here, but they got the win nevertheless. So moving on to number 3, got Patty Mack and the boys. Patty had 249, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had hooked up with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Edwards-Helaire finally got close to 100 yards, 19 carries, 92. But that defense just kept him in the game, but they still allowed 385 by Tom. He still cut him up, 3 touchdowns, 39 for 39 completions out of 52, and they only allowed 3 rushing yards the whole entire game, but they only rushed 6 times. So at number 2, I got the Buffalo Bills, who beat up on the Ravens. They really didn't look convincing, but that defense is, like I keep saying, that defense is strong. They were led by Matt Milano with 13 tackles. Jordan Poyer had 2 interceptions against Jackson. Josh Allen had 11 rushing yards, or 11 attempts for 70 yards, 19 for 36 for 231 yards. And this week they play the Steelers, and that defense should be able to contain Kenny Pickett and then let them keep on rolling. And last but not least, I got Eagles fly at number 1 still. Until they can get knocked off, I think they're going to sit at this number 1 spot. Like I said earlier, a lot like the last year. Arizona Cardinals, who started off hot. I think Philly's hot right now. Jalen Hurts had 204, no touchdowns, 1 interceptions, but they were led by Miles Sanders. And he had 27 attempts, $134. Started off the game down 14-0 in the first quarter, but came right back in the second quarter and scored 20 straight points. So that defense finally stood up. The offense finally woke up, and they were able to knock off the red-hot Jags, which Jared's probably going to have them boys in there somewhere. But that's my list, debated,
Had them at 10.
dissected.
They fall out because of that loss. But go ahead.
But I'm all good, man.
Man.
All right.
Chop it up, dog.
Come on, man. Like I said, your week 1 list, immaculate. Week 2 was so-so. Week 3 fell off. Week 4, you done lost your fucking mind. Can I say that? I think so.
It's too
I think
late,
we able to cuss.
already did that,
Anyway,
so
but
we
oh
should.
my God, Will Ward's top 10. Where should I start? I guess should I start at top? Okay, 1, 2, and 3. I agree. That's it. That's the only spot I agree with. Baltimore, I dropped Baltimore to 10. They lost 2 games in a row, and they lost 2 games in a row losing huge leads. So I know they lost in the second half. They come out hot. They're like the opposite of the Bengals. Y'all start slow, finish super hot. They start off blazing hot and finish ice cold like Sub-Zero, just hit them with some stuff. I don't know what happened with Baltimore. So Baltimore at 10, and plus they arguing with their coaches right now, and their coaches also making bad decisions. So Baltimore is hanging on just because of the MVP front runner right now, and that's really it. San Francisco, I agree with you there. Keep San Francisco at 9. Move Cincinnati to 8. They're 2-2. I mean, let them win a couple more games and make sure that they're still here. Miami, I slide them back to 7. I don't like where they might be headed in this future, so I wouldn't drop them as low as you did. But I also thought higher of Miami than you did from the start. So Green Bay at 6. I don't know what's up with this Green Bay madness. They don't look good. They haven't looked good in any victory they had. Yeah, they found ways to get it done. They beat Tampa when Tampa literally was missing every single person. If Tampa could put up 31 points again like they did this past weekend, I think that game go differently against Green Bay if they had everybody. I'm not liking the Green Bay offense is giving up yardage. I mean, defense is giving up yardage, and the offense isn't really clicking on all cylinders. And the young receivers are still dropping touchdown passes. I'll put them at 6. Oh, yeah, and they also didn't beat Minnesota, so I'm not going to put them above Minnesota, who's number 1 in that division. Dallas at 5, Minnesota at 4. They're 3-1, and they're going to be 4-1 coming into after next week, so they're going to be right there with the top guys. The problem is nobody believes in my quarterback, which is fine. I get it. Let us still be the underdogs.
You and me both, bro.
Yeah. Well, I believe in my team. I don't have to necessarily ride my quarterback. He just don't need to crash. But and then, like I said, KC, Bills, and Philly. I'm with you there. But some of that other stuff, nah. Almost a solid list. I can't get with this.
Take it to the bank, man.
I can't get with this Green Bay love.
Stuff that in your
it's not even just you. It's watching these analysts.
Dude, they look gross, man. They just look.
They use the week 1 as it's just week 1, but
Dang.
I haven't seen nothing that looked good from this Green Bay love. Like this is the Green Bay of old. Like no.
That run game. Adam Dell knows because he's a fan. He's been watching those two for a couple years now, or a year or two. But dude, AJ Dillon looked good. That's a very, very good 1-2 combo. I'm going to keep my eyes tuned in.
Oh, yeah, they're the best two players on the offense.
You run the ball, that's where success comes from. Look at Philadelphia's running the ball very well. They're 4-0. San Francisco, one of the best running teams in the league. They're 2-2, but it's coming along. They had to deal with some issues weeks 1 and 2. Green Bay, one of the best run games there is. Tampa Bay, last year when the pass game fell apart, Leonard Fournette carried him through the playoffs 2 years ago. Excuse me.
I'm with you there.
So there's some trends there, and it's October. So once we get into December, when it's cold, shitty, those things, ground and pound.
Aaron Rodgers is throwing a lot more picks. He threw another pick 6 this week, and he threw a pick 6, I think, in the Minnesota game.
Do you think that's the new receivers, no chemistry? Do you think he needs to make better throws since he's got new guys and maybe not running the routes quite as well as where they should be? What do you think's the reason for his? And he's throwing more picks. He's throwing what, 2?
I mean, more picks than he's on the pace that he usually is a set on. He's already thrown more picks so far this season than he probably thrown in the past, whatever. Like he only had 4 total last year, something crazy like that. No, I
don't risk it, no biscuit, man.
No, I think he's a very cautious and selective with his throws. But I mean, he's so talented, so he can make any throw, any given throw. But because of the not trusting his receivers, like he may be trusting Dobbs a little bit more. He's giving them some chances or whatnot, even after the mistakes that he make. But I still think he don't trust the people who he's throwing the ball to. And we gonna really see what it look like when the rubber meets to hit the road. And yeah, he's trusting a little bit of Lazard, but it hasn't, like, they're winning ugly. And Aaron Rodgers himself even said they can't continue to win this way, otherwise they're gonna be left behind. Which that's what I think.
Gotcha.
Like I told you, Jimmy G game plan. It's what they're doing over there.
Yeah, dude, that's actually, we can address that in the chat. Will Ward's top 10, there it goes. The question in the chat to you two was, is Jimmy G a top 15 quarterback? And that's about exactly where he is.
At 15?
And no, this isn't in order, but you got Russ, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Tua, Tom Brady, Josh Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Matt Stafford, Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Dak, and Derek Carr. That's 14-15. Derek Carr, Matt Stafford, Jimmy G's been playing about as well as Stafford has this year. You got Cousins right in there. Cousins maybe just above, just below. And then you start looking at maybe Goff, maybe Trevor Lawrence is starting to ascend it. But for the gang in the chat, Jimmy G right there, I think right about number 15.
In the middle of the pack.
Right in the middle
I really
of the pack.
think Kirk Cousins is better. If you put Kirk Cousins as the America's team quarterback, he'd get way more love than he gets now.
You got
Because
that
I
right.
think he's better than Dak, Jalen, and all of these guys. But, he doesn't get his primetime stuff on Monday night, and his narrative is just way stronger than the way he can perform until he actually wins on a bigger stage. But I don't know. Jimmy, we already, middle of the pack or not, we know Jimmy G is good enough to get you to a Super Bowl.
Yep. And that's
And multiple NFC championship games.
Yep.
So it's a recipe for winning.
All right. I want to put.
Plus, he has the weapons around him to really make him that guy. You know, when you got Ayuk around there, you got George Kittle over there. It's easy to just look up and hit those passes, and which he's nailing them. It's not easy to just fit some of them passes into those windows.
He misses some of them, but it's tough in the NFL. And,
yeah, I give him top 15.
And he's been under the gun, too. I mean, they brought in a new kid. They told the guy, this ain't your job. We like this newer, hotter, better, faster, stronger, you name it. Like, sorry, bro, you're on your way out. Thanks for the thanks for the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl trip. So they they didn't poo-poo all over him or give him that Odell Beckham butt. He's under the gun. He's a little bit sour, and dude, he's strapped up. He sucked it up. He said, all right, I'll hang. And he's getting it done. He's prepared, and as he gets a better handle on this new playbook from our new offensive coordinator, and he's got to shake some rust off. He's been hanging out for a few months, so right in the middle of that pack, number 15, I think, maybe a little bit higher, but we're gonna ride it out. He's gonna ride on the back of that defense, is what he's gonna do. All right, we got about 10 minutes left here in the show. I want to bring in
Week 5.
All right. Week 5 spreads. There's your matchups right there in front of you on the screen. I know I got a few sports bettors in the building, or in the chat, I should say. Figure this out. All right. So, anything you guys like on there? Right off.
I'm not excited about this week.
No?
I'm not your game.
And these are courtesy of FanDuel, as y'all can see.
Your game is probably the best game of the night, of the day. But it's those, you never know, because like the Lions and Seahawks was a great game last week. I'm still interested to see how Jacksonville bounced back.
Wonder if I can get that.
One, we get that 9:30 game, that first thing in the morning, waking up, having football and breakfast at the same time. So that's a win again.
But it's, but that's like for me, football and breakfast because of the team that's playing. It's like, you ever see something nasty make you want to, like, it's like if I'm eating while, it's kind of like seeing somebody do somebody do something trifling. It's going to make me want to throw up.
True.
Because I'm watching the Packers play, in case y'all didn't get that. But, I'm just joking, because it was beautiful last week, especially since last Sunday we celebrated my son's party and stuff. So the morning game was so happened to be my team.
Right.
Got to get that out the way early, and plus we won, so they got a happy dad the rest of the day versus me sour Sunday.
Right.
For me, so that's the difference.
Now in that 1 o'clock slot, it's a lot of 1 o'clock games. It seems like, I don't know if this is a normal amount, but got 3, 4 o'clock games.
Yeah, it should be
It's a normal amount, I believe.
It should be the same slate Thursday night, and then you got one Sunday morning, which is great. We got that 9:30 football. We just talked about it, the Packers and the Giants.
No.
And then that early slate, Sunday night football be a good divisional. Monday night football will be a good divisional. Some spreads on there that I was looking at. Hey, man, I like the Bengals getting 3 going into Baltimore. Never know. Field goals are going to be very important. Evan McPherson, Justin Tucker, the best 2 to do it. Actually, there you go.
Literally, yeah, they are the best 2 in the game, too.
Field goal props have been good. Evan McPherson, I think he's had more than 2 field goals in, 6 or 7 straight games, I believe. Those are ones to sneak up on. Check out Justin Tucker, Evan McPherson, probably over 1.5 field goals is usually a good one, depending on what money line you can get it at. Like I said earlier, San Fran, I'm going to lay it. I'll lay touchdown against the Panthers and just ride that Baker's being bad, and that defense is just going to wreck his world. Go in there and plant that flag, as Jerry like to say.
Yeah, he's definitely not playing. Yeah, y'all might plant that Niner flag. I can't even cape for my guy this week.
The other trend I will throw out there,
to my
sports bettors in the house, the Atlanta Falcons are the only team that are 4-0 against the spread this season. So they've been playing tight, and they're the underdogs in most of them. So they've kept them tight.
And they're 2-2, so yeah, that's.
So keep that in mind. Atlanta Falcons 4-0 against the spread. Saints are 5.5-point favorites against Seattle. Dude.
But Cordell hurt. I don't know.
But, you know,
He's a big part
good
of
buck
their
the trend
offense.
there. That Tyler Algier was great in the preseason. He will be Atlanta's probably starting running back. He looked great in the preseason. He looked good after Patterson left. They do roll into Tampa Bay. Tom in the middle of divorce. Bucks laying 9.5. Dude, take the Falcons in those points, baby. Divisional game. They can keep it within 9. Hold it down.
Time alone, man.
Hold it down.
I don't know. They put up 31 last week. I think this is the time of the season where Tom and them about to start taking off. This shit
They had
about
to
to
put up
start selling.
31 because they were giving up about
Right.
50.
Yeah.
And Seattle and the Saints, man. Seattle take 5.5. Saints ain't no good.
Yeah, I've been telling everybody that since the offseason. I
Hey,
don't
my
know
boy
why they
Andy
believed in the
came
Saints.
out there. Andy came out there looking real good against y'all, dog. Andy Dalton
Andy Dalton.
against
I
the
don't know,
Vikings.
I don't know what game you was watching. I just watched my team leave too many points on the board and they settled. We should have blew them the doors off of them by the third quarter.
Man, Andy had like 200-something yards against y'all.
Some of that was late, and then that last little long play. I still, like I said, it should have been a 46-20, whatever they had ball game. That's nothing we can't correct on the field.
It is close.
With the
man.
red
We got
rifle,
different-
man, we
different
was
narratives.
actually was I worried.
Those are good props, too. And I will say, Rico Freeman, I listened to CBS Sportsline. CBS The Early Edge is an excellent podcast on Spotify. They haven't missed a day since December of 2020, and it's usually like 10, 15 minutes. Good bets of the day. They cover baseball, soccer, hockey, football, college football, you name it. CBS The Early Edge. Check that out, Rico Freeman.
That 1 o'clock slot, I keep looking at that Buffalo-Pittsburgh game.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna
Yeah.
be it. Hopefully they got that one on 1 o'clock.
Shit,
Not the
Pittsburgh gonna
Browns.
knock off the Bills, and then 2 weeks after that, they're gonna knock off the Eagles. Damn, Pittsburgh's
Yeah.
getting hot.
Yeah, go ahead and put your
that-
money on that
and
one.
that would just be the more proof that they should have started Kenny, and they could be 3-1 right now themselves. Because Mitch really lost that Jets game,
Can't-
and Mitch lost. I can't remember whatever other game that he won.
You taking Pittsburgh against Buffalo?
Check this out. Kenny Pickett was 10 for 13 for like 170 yards, but he had 3 interceptions. So technically, he didn't throw an incomplete pass.
Technically, but and his first pass was a pick. But that's stuff a full week of preparation. Was he the starter? Or this is what I don't know. Did Mitch start that game? Or,
Yeah,
no,
Mitch
Mitch got
did.
okay.
Mitch
So
got
yeah.
pulled.
It's a
Like
difference when you
halftime.
got a full week of prep versus just being thrown into the fire. He literally got thrown in the fire in mid-game. No, I'm talking about get this
That's
man
what
in
you've been
prep.
saying to do all season.
But no, don't throw him in the fire in mid-game. No, have him
literally said
prep with
throw
the
him in the
start.
fire.
No.
He's been prepping since preseason.
I'm talking about.
Actual grain preparation.
Do you remember what the practice was like? No, there's a first team and there's a second team.
Yeah.
Kenny was running with the second team. That's not prepping for the starters. Have him running with the first team the entire week. He got better repetition. They got the weapons, and maybe Najee could get it done. But we'll see. Are we ready? Are we ready for the capes? Because
say Kenny
this is a
gonna
great
get better.
segue for who I'm
Yeah, it
caping for.
is.
Because clearly,
For Kenny?
we clearly know who we're caping for Kenny. I mean,
Man.
are we caping? Are we caping?
Dun.
Are we caping?
Do it.
Then are we caping? Are we caping? Hold up. Let me
Gotcha.
let me get my thing. Let me where my thing? Cause I got this coat on. Hey. We are caping for Kenny Pickett, people.
Man, it's gonna be one question after this Buffalo Mafia get to him. Who killed Kenny? That's gonna be the only thing they asking after this game, dog. It ain't gonna be that Kenny get an
Man,
interception.
Kenny gonna put his cape on and he's definitely gonna get the dub.
Yeah.
Man, stop playing, bro.
Yeah. All right, man.
I'm caping for Kenny. My last few capes, I don't know. We're not even keeping track of the capes of who we caped for the previous week.
I got a list.
I caped for Trevor
somewhere.
last week, and they almost pulled through,
I got a
but
list somewhere.
it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And I'm always caping for my
Dude,
Vikings.
actually, I wrote that down. Will, you said you caped for Von Bell last week.
Yeah, I thought about it too. My bad.
Did you
It
look
was
at-
for Vegas, I believe.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. But
I
it was a segment last week. I'll put it on a little bit later. I did. Maybe it wasn't a cape for him, but that's what I needed for Cincinnati to do.
Yep.
That's how I thought it rolled. But I went back, rolled the tape, threw the red flag. It was for, and they did come through for me too last week.
I caped for Trevor last week.
I wrote it down. I caped for Trevor.
We both caped for Trevor, I think. Or did I change my pick because you picked Trevor first?
Yeah, because I started with Trevor. So I caped for Trevor Lawrence and / Doug Peterson. Dude, they caped the shit out of that first quarter. But it's a four-quarter game, boys.
I mean, I caped for Lamar then.
But be careful. Jacksonville's on the hunt. Jerry, you caped for Lamar. Will, Derek, and the Raiders. Yep. Adam Dell caped for Russell Wilson.
He had a good game. He had a good game. Because Russell Wilson got my dude the fantasy dub. The team I was playing against.
Against the Raiders' terrible defense.
Yeah.
So you got Kenny. Will.
I am caping for Kenny.
Who you caping for? And if you're in the chat, if you still, let's see, Cam Rico, if anybody's still out there.
Thank you. Kenny gonna get better, bro.
Throw it in there.
Yeah, he can't get too much worse. But I'm gonna put my cape on.
Can't get too much. Yeah, because it can't get much worse than Mitch, man.
Yeah, it can, dude. I didn't say. I'm gonna put my cape on for little buddy, Kyler Murray, man.
His little buddy.
Gotta put it on for little buddy. Go one for the small people. Because I just want to see them come out and really give Philly a game. Don't come out and lay an egg. Don't come out and struggle.
Like Jacksonville.
Right. So I'm gonna go with Arizona, mainly Arizona, but gotta throw Kyler in there to make sure that he's the leader of that team. So put me down for Arizona.
Okay.
This dude going with Kenny.
All right.
That's a joke.
He's gonna need a Superman cape. That's the definition of caping. He's gonna need a cape to get that.
You've been asking for this
cape.
all season.
You right. And
cape
finally gave me what I asked for.
My cape is gonna be Sean McVay and the LA Rams. I don't know if Shard's still in there. They need a little bit of cape. They're struggling, and all of this. Frankly, I would like them to shut down this bullshit Dallas momentum of me seeing headlines of, is Dallas going to make it to the Super Bowl this year? Is the NFC East the best division in the league? All this trash that I have to watch while I'm at work because they run ESPN up there, man. It's nonsense. Dallas is not good. They just talk about them because they got the biggest fan base. So I need Sean McVay, that defense, and the Rams to get their shit together and shut down Dallas, give Cooper Rush his first loss as a Cowboy,
ever.
And get them out of their playoffs. Start that talk.
Okay, they're starting.
Shut them down.
They're starting this.
I'm tired of it. Cowboys aren't good.
Crap.
So, Sean McVay, get it together. Bump Matthew Stafford up. And fucking start spreading the ball around. Or get Darrell Henderson in there. Whatever you need to do to get it done. And whoever else is out there, if you got, throw it in the chat.
Hey, I was just thinking the same thing, Rico. They better call him
yeah.
OBJ real soon.
And you've been seeing those around, so.
He been working out like crazy.
Yeah.
But
OBJ could come work with his little bro. He just gave his little bro a shout out. He could come be on the other side of his little bro.
All right, gang.
And no, not Jamar.
Nah, I know you're talking about.
I'm talking about Justin.
They've been saying that they've been having him going back to New York.
That's stupid too.
We thank you all
Just
for
come to
tuning
Mini.
in.
We need to sign Odell and the Dominican, and we'd be Gucci. I really wanted to sign the Dominican because he would make us so nasty. Sue wants the bag. He said, I'll come play for y'all, but y'all not offering me enough money. That's really what it's coming down to.
Right.
And we're not desperate enough to make that move, which I wish we would, because that's the type of move I could possibly
Pick him up.
put us over the hump.
You got to do something mid-season, give that little bump, elevate you through to finish strong. For Ryan Dietrich,
trade for DK.
and Yamo Media, That's Debatable. My guys.
Hey, it showed.
it.
He hit it. Let me take off my cape.
Tune in next Tuesday.
Watch out,
7:30.
Big Trust. We coming.
Check us out. Follow our socials.
Big Trust play for the Saints.
Our handles are down there. Tune in.
LJ.
Holler at us. We love y'all. That's
I thought
Debatable.
Big Trust was
We catch you next
Mark,
week.
I thought he was announcing himself as Big Trust.